Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai Shalom Kakodah. Shalom to the 144,000 and rest of you elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video Revelation 12 and Revelation 20 are not in order based upon the verses. I'll give it maybe something. Maybe I'll say it are not the verses are not in order. What I mean by that is when you read, for example, Revelation 20 or Revelation 12, and it could be in other chapters of Revelation or in the Bible. Matter of fact, it is, depending on what chapter in the Bible or book that you read in the Bible, that sometimes you'll read something, you'll read from verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, and then it seems like, well, I'll get into it. Instead of me trying to explain it, I'm just going to get into it. So anyway, this is based upon a video that I didn't watch the whole thing. Let me see something. Give me a second.
Fought and his angels.
Okay, I don't know why that went back. Let me do this. Okay. Let me come back over here. Okay, so this is the video. I was watching some of it earlier, put up by Apostle Ramlab, and the dragon fought and his angels, which we knew about this, and it came to Apostle Ramlab. This is before he was on YouTube, about the angels in the movie Saving Private Ryan. So this is not something that he just came up with. This is like an old thing that he knew, but he hadn't spoke on it, so he just had to bring it up. Based upon this video, which was Jason A. 2024, unexplained events worldwide. Then it goes into like this right here. This is one of the jets from the Blue Angels team, flying team, whatever you want to call it. And there was what they call a UFO or UAP that flew back past them, and they had this chick film it and report it to the here she is right here. Give me a second. Come back a little bit more. Okay, this is her film it. She caught it on video and reported it to, I believe, the FAA, whatever, Federal Aviation Administration, whatever the alphabet is. Anyway, so she reported, and like I said, when you watch this and you watch the original video, Jason A., this was at the recent Blue Angels doing maneuvers, to entertain the people, and a UFO came over. Now, Apostle Ramlab went into the Blue Angels and how at one time they were not called the Blue Angels, and he said there was either man said, oh, they look like Blue Angels, or so they changed the name. I believe that was in 1947. So you can watch this video. But anyway, come over here. Okay, this is what I got to do. I'll go to the precept. I'll go to the blue letter. Got all these tabs open, but I'll go to the blue letter. And right here, I'm going to kind of focus on Revelation 12, and I'll probably read the whole chapter, and the Revelation 20, I'll go right to the point, and I'll jump around. So Revelation, this is almost a back to the basics. Revelation 12. And I'll first read it in the NLT. Okay, NLT. Okay. The woman and the dragon. Even these, if you go to the commentary, the Bible Hub, they'll even tell you that it's talking about Israel. The woman's talking about Israel. The Roman Catholic Church say, oh, it's talking about the Roman Catholic Church. So it says, then I witnessed in heaven an event of great significance. I saw a woman clothed with the sun and the moon beneath her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head. The 12 represent the 12 tribes of Israel. Joseph had a dream that about the 12 stars, and he was a star over the rest of the stars. So you can go back. I'm not going to go and read it, but you can read it for yourself in Genesis. And they hated Joseph for it. And Joseph did become a greater star than the rest of his brothers. She was pregnant, and she cried out because of her labor pains and the agony of giving birth. Now, this is twofold. This is talking about Mary, the mother of our Lord, but it's also talking about Israel, because our Lord was born as an Israelite, so he's part of the nation of Israel. So the labor pains are really talking about when what was that, Matthew chapter 2, when Herod had I'm not going to go to it. Herod, because I don't want to make this, I don't want to draw this out. Herod, through the help of the Romans, I believe it was Herod's personal army. Matter of fact, you know what? Now I got to go to it. Let me come on back. Let me do this. Let me do it this way. Let me close some of these tabs here. Bear me for a minute. Oh, this right here, the wars of the Jews, or Wars of the Jews, the Flavius Josephus. That's how it's cut up, the Wars of the Jews, Antiquity of the Jews, and so forth. Right here, this is your pages 6.409 to 6.434. As you read down, it says how the Israelite males above 17, I believe, were they went into Egypt to serve slavery, and it said that they were sold. All right. Vocab says that they wasn't sold. that is talking about Deuteronomy 28:68 is talking about 70 AD. It's not talking about 70 AD at all. But anyway, let me open this up. Now this thing wants to act up. Let me do it this way. Matthew 2. Let me do this. Bear me for a minute. Do it this way. Egypt. Egypt is not here. Egypt. Okay, so now let me come back up. I'm sorry. Let me just do it this way. I hate when this happens. Herod's slaughter of the Israelite babies. Okay, so it is in Matthew 2.
According to Wikipedia, the massacre or slaughter of the innocents is a biblical story recounted in the Nativity narrative of the Gospel of Matthew 2:16-18, in which Herod the Great, king of Judea, orders the execution of all male children who are 2 years old and under in the vicinity of Bethlehem.
Right, it wasn't the Romans. I don't know why I couldn't find it like that, but 16. Okay. So right around here, then Herod, when he saw that he was marked, then fulfilled which was spoken of Jeremiah coast from okay. And this guy might be Benjamin Netanyahu, man. He likes slaughtering people. That dude might be fucking Herod. And then all the coast thereof from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently required of the wise men, then was fulfilled, which was Jeremiah the prophet, Ramah, children of weeping. So that's why we all know this, the ones of you that been in this for a while, but I wanted to kind of read it to myself to make sure I was correct on Herod. But it says men of war. It says, and his men of war, which is his personal army. Anyway, let me get back into this. So that's what this is talking about. Labor pains and the agony of giving birth, because they were killing the babies 2 years old and under. And at that time, when they were slaughtering the Israelite babies, they were just busting in the houses and killing them. Where's a baby? Chopping them up in front of the parents, in front of the mother. It said Rachel weeping for her little one. Go back to Matthew 2. And this is what Benjamin Netanyahu is doing to the Palestinian people. And a lot of those Palestinians are Israelites. He don't care about little babies, man. He'll blow up hospitals with babies in it, babies in incubators, pregnant women, old people. And over here in the States, the news companies are trained not to use the G word. So these are these devils coming back. And like I'm going to say, I'm going to start calling that dude Herod. I said, that's Herod. It says, then I witnessed in heaven another significant event. So this right here is Matthew chapter 2. I saw a large red dragon, which the dragon represents the Roman Empire. But the part of the Roman Empire that brought Israel down involved Herod and the Idumeans, because they had to destroy Israel so they can they had to destroy the king. But it was the Romans, so the red dragon is the Romans, and anything attached to the dragon is the Romans, anything attached to the Romans at that time. The same goes with the U.S., NATO, EU, and Israel. Israel's not a member of NATO or the EU, but they work with them. Let's say it that way. So 7 heads and 10 horns, Roman Empire, with 7 crowns on his head. His tail swept 1/3 of the stars. In King James, it says different. It's talking about three parts, because there's 12 parts to Israel. Who was taking down the 3 parts? Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Of the stars of the sky. How do we know it's talking about Israel? Go back to the first verse. And he threw them to the earth. He stood in front of the woman as she was about to give birth, ready to devour her baby as soon as it were born. Go back to Matthew chapter 2. She gave birth to a son, that's specifically Mary, in which the biological father is Joseph. She gave birth to a son who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And we're going to be joint heirs with him. So we're going to be ruling all the nations with rods of iron. And her child was snatched away from the dragon and was caught up to the Most High and to his throne. So that covers the 33 years that he was on the earth. From the time he was born to the time of his death and resurrection, he was caught up. And it was Herod's men of war that put the crown of thorns on his head, that beat him, spat upon him. But it was under the Roman authority. That's why after Herod beat the hell out of him and his men, they sent him to Pilate, which was a governor of that province, which he was a Roman governor. didn't go up to the Caesar, it went to the governor. It says, and the woman fled into the wilderness where the Most High had prepared a place to care for her for 1,260 days, which represents 350 years. The woman fled into the wilderness is outside of Israel, Africa. Many of the Israelites went into Africa. Some went up into Asia Minor. Some of them had relatives up there too. It says where the Most High had prepared a place. The place is right here, America, Babylon the Great, to care for her for three. So Esau gave us welfare, food stamps, opportunities, bullshit opportunities, but he gave us just enough to live. It said, then there was war in heaven. This is getting ready to happen. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the video that Apostle Ramlab did. And like I said, this was something that he discovered long before we got on YouTube. So listen up.
Clearer once you understand what that Satan and his angels is talking about. So this is DreamWorks 1998. This is when the movie came out. Good movie, a good watch. When we scroll down here to scene script, begin clip at 2 hours 35 minutes and 40 seconds in chapter 19. So when you watch the movie, this particular scene is going to show up at this particular time marker. Scene opens with P-51 Mustangs swarming overhead as American troops run through a battle-ravaged village in Germany. Officers are barking orders to soldiers as they fortify their positions over the enemy. Captain Miller, which is played by Tom Hanks, is mortally wounded and being treated by Private Reuben. Private Ryan walks over to the two of them as they look at what's going on around them. Reuben, medic, grab his rifle and run off towards the soldier. Medic, Private Ryan, they're tank busters, sir, P-51s. Yeah, because I believe Tom Hanks asked what are those? And he told him they're tank busters, sir, P-51s. This is Captain Miller or Tom Hanks' reply. Angels on our shoulders. See? And what's that? That's protection. The angels are used for what? For protection. That's why it refers to them as angels, right? So in the case of the elect of the nation of Israel, the angels, which are spiritual beings, protect us. Psalms 34:7, the angel of the Lord encampeth around about them that fear him, and delivereth them. In the case of Esau and his angels, that is his weaponry.
Yeah, so now when you come back to Revelation, give me a second. So we're right here. I'll read the 7th verse again. Then there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels. This is getting ready to happen. This is when Yahweh Shai come back with the angels. And this devil's going to try to fight the angels, and they're going to get wiped out. And the dragon lost the battle, and he and his angels were forced out of heaven. And heaven is talking about the sky. It says, the great dragon, the ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, the one deceiving the world, the whole world. He's gonna deceive you by the chip. That's why a lot of these camps don't teach about the chip being the MOTB being a microchip. So the way they're gonna get a lot of people to take it is they're gonna deceive you. And Esau knows that the microchip technology is the mark of the beast. So when it comes out and we on YouTube and we're saying don't take it because it's the MOTB, they're gonna start cutting our site. They're going to say misinformation or whatever they say. That's why we use the word MOTB and then we say micro C-hip or C-ragamuffin. or jump shot, right? It says was thrown down to the earth with all his angels. That's getting ready to happen. Then I heard a voice shouting across the heavens, it has come at last, which is Babylon is fallen, Babylon is fallen. That's when the ICBMs hit. Salvation and power and the kingdom of our power, meaning we're going to be in the kingdom, and the authority of the Messiah, for the accuser of our brothers and sisters, or they added sisters in there, has been thrown down to earth. The slanderers, and you know what a slanderer is? A slanderer is somebody that says something negative about you that's not true. They slander you. It says, I like this guy, what's this guy, Deacon Asaph. He's a slanderer. And that word always also go back to the devil. He's saying that we raping little boys and girls, which is slander, and it's a fault. It's what is it? In the commandments, it's false accusations. You know, to accuse somebody falsely. You're doing this, you're doing that, and there's no evidence that we're doing any of those things. That's a slanderer. So these guys preach that keep the law stuff, and they'll tell you to keep the law, but they don't keep the law. You know? Go back to Matthew chapter 23. False witness. When somebody said this guy's a devil and he slept with little boys and little girls, and he didn't, or there's no evidence at all on it, that's a false witness or false accuser or a slanderer. So anytime we talk about Nathan IUIC, we're saying it for a reason. We're not making shit up. It says has been thrown down to the earth. This is getting ready to happen. The one who accuses him before our power day and night. And they have defeated him by the blood of the Lamb and by their testimony, and they did not love their lives so much that they were afraid to die. In other words, we weren't afraid to die. So some of us will get our heads chopped off and get put to death for not taking the charagma. It said, therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens, rejoice. But terror will come on the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has a little time. So now you might say, well, wait a minute, they were put down and they're going to come back? No. That's where people get confused. It says the devil that accused us, blah, 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 in the day and night, and they were defeated by the blood of the Lamb. Therefore rejoice. Now it says, when the dragon realized that he had been thrown down to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the man-child. So this goes back. Now, if you don't read it the right way, and you don't get these verses in order, because the verses are a little out of order, you're going to say, okay, the angels took, Yahushua and the angels took down Esau, and we're in the kingdom, but then they're going to come back. See, this goes hand in hand with Revelation. You can start from chapter 1, 2, 3, and then jump down to chapter 8, 9. And it seems like it's talking about, the fourth verse, Revelation 20, we're going to enjoy ourselves for 1,000 years, but then Esau's going to come back out. It's the same language right here, which is not talking about a second time. Esau's not going to be taken down, and then a time he's going to regroup and come back. So if you're not reading these scriptures correctly, you're going to get it wrong. And so when the dragon realized that he had been thrown down to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. Now that's in the past. So they're saying we got to take these people down. But she was given 2 wings like those of a great eagle, so she could fly to the place prepared for her. So John is just getting this image again. 14th verse. And what's the other verse? And the woman fled into the wilderness. 14th verse. This is the Israelite fleeing into the wilderness again. So it's being spoken about again. It's not talking about they're going to be taken down and then after 1,000 years they're going to come back into power. That's why Bishop Nathaniel got off. He was off on Revelation chapter 20. He said we're going to be in the kingdom, enjoying the kingdom for 1,000 years, and then Esau is going to come back together and take us down. And if you notice, he hasn't, brought that up again, because he knows he went off. So it says, then I'm gonna go to chapter 20 real quick. But she was given 2 wings, like those of a great eagle. The 2 wings of those, it wasn't actual wings. It was a great escape. When the Lord said, "When you see the abomination that maketh desolate, enter into the holy place, then flee ye into the mountains." So the ones that took heed to what Yahushua was saying, they fled. They said, "This is it. Let's get out of here. Let's go to Africa. Let's go to wherever." And so she could fly. Fly meaning you in flight. You moving quick to the place prepared for her in the wilderness. They went off on this because they went into the wilderness into her place. The place is America. The wilderness is the interiors of Africa. It says, give me a second. There she would be cared for, and protected from the dragon for a time, times, and half a time. So let's come back up here. This is the same event. 6th verse. And the woman fled into the fled into the wilderness. 14 said that the eagle's wings, and she flew. It's the same thing. It's not 2 different time periods. So it says here 1,260 days, which is 350 years. And this time it said times, and half a time. Time is 1 time, which represent 100. Times represent 2. That's 300, and half a time. 350 years. And this adds up to, if you break it up in the months, it adds up to 1,260 days, adds up to approximately 350 years. So that the time period was from 1620, but we being brought over here long before in the early 1500s. But the boat came in the 1600s. So if you go to 1619 to 1970, that's 350 years. Because that's when they started. That's when the truth came out. And when you go back to One West, a lot of brothers that were breaking this down, they were breaking it down the wrong way, just as they were breaking down Revelation chapter 20. Because when Bishop Nate went into Revelation chapter 20 and said, after 1,000 years, Gog and Magog are going to come back and they're going to get us. Well, you should have went to Revelation 12 and read this. It's not talking about 2 different events. It's just the same event is mentioned 2 times. It said, but she was given 2 wings like those of an eagle, so she could fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness. Yeah, you can say it that way. So she can fly to her place, which was prepared for her in the wilderness, because they went to the wilderness first, and the way they got to the place, Hosea 1 and 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 and 11, the place is Babylon the Great. 10 there she would be cared for, because Esau put us in slavery, but guess what? Esau fed us and put us in, the slave quarters. So we lived just enough, we had just enough to survive so we can keep working. From the dragon. The dragon represents this system for a time and a half a time. Then the dragon tried to drown the woman, and that's what's happening now. That's why you have freedom of religion. You got all these different religions and ways of life, and that's part of the waters. And the flood also goes back to the Romans, taking us down to 70 AD. Instead of the water that flowed from his mouth. What comes out of his mouth? Lies. That's why it says in Zechariah 14, Zechariah 14 and 12, is it? It said their tongue shall be consumed out of their mouth, meaning they ain't going to talk no more lies. Daniel chapter 7, and he speaketh great words. That's why this guy, Tucker Carlson, was sent by Fox down to our camp. And he failed, man. He started talking, then he couldn't talk no more. And there was a point in the video when you watch the interview between myself and Tucker Carlson, when we was going into the books, he had his head in the books. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me see if I can find that. Let me actually go to bear me for a minute. Bear me for a minute. Okay, I believe this is it right here. So let me see if I can find it.
Africans. Okay, good. So you're saying that
I'm not arguing that. You can find that one. It was a two-part thing. But you was gonna make a diss track out of that thing, and then through protest by us, you dissed the ISUPK. So stop it, vocab. We know you're the devil. We are not ignorant to Satan's devices. Okay, let me see. Hopefully it's here.
go down there. There's most down there.
Play a beat for a minute.
It's an older video, but you can see there at West 34th Street, okay?
Okay, you see how he got his head, he's into the books.
And he said we were going in two different directions. No.
He was kind of distant from us. Then when we opened up the books, you can see he was focused on what we were reading. And then he made two statements that I remember. He said, well, why? He kept saying, why am I going into slavery? And so if you're an Edomite, there's nothing you can do. So he fully understood about the slavery thing. He didn't leave in captivity, so go into captivity, and he fully understood that he was an Edomite. So he said, so if you're an Edomite, there's nothing you can do. He was fucked up. He probably had nightmares of this thing, man. That's why he remembered it so vividly in front of Lex Friedman. And Lex Friedman was all fucked up because he knows he's an insider. So now let's come back over here. So now you understand. Now go to any Israelite out there. I don't care who it is. Go to any Sakari, IUIC, ICBK, any Wi-Fi. Go to any of them and go into, ask them to go into Revelation 12 and tell them to break it down. And they're going to get, some of them will get it right. Some of them will get it right. I believe Sakari will get it right. But the most of them will get it wrong. They'll talk about it like it's two separate events. Revelation chapter 20, Bishop Nathaniel talked about that situation with the Gog and Magog saying it's two different events. No, it's being reiterated by the angel. It's being given to John again. Or he's seeing the vision 2 times and he's writing it down, the same event 2 times. It said, but the earth helped her by opening its mouth and swallowing the river. Right, the river of lies. The fact that they wanted to kill us off with their armies. The Most High is going to be with us, whether they come with their armies on a physical level or whether they come with their lies. And who's going to see through all the lies? The elect. Because they have the glasses. You know? They had the glasses that Roddy Piper had. And they lived. We had them glasses. Now in the movie They Live, he had this guy was the actor's name David Keith. Not Keith David, but David Keith, I think his name was. And I ran into him about 3 or 4 times when he was doing all the movies. He used to be in Harlem. Sometimes he'd be Midtown Manhattan because he's from New York. And hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? You know. I remember we went into the bodega and he was in there, and people were like, "Oh, that's you," you know. And it was Ephraim like say, "Oh, I know you. He said, "Yeah, that's me. You know, that's me. Yeah, I did this movie. I did that movie." Anyway, it says swallowing the river, and that gushed out from the mouth, and the like I said, the river is ultimately they're gonna come down on us, right? With that river, which is the troops coming down. That's 2nd Ezra chapter 16, right? They shall be like madmen, sparing none, right? But spoiling and destroying them that fear the Most High, which are the elect of Israel. But it's also talking about their lies. Because every time in America, like in the Arab world, there's only one religion, Islam. In certain places in Islam, when you go to certain Islamic countries, you cannot go in there until you convert to Islam. When the movie X came out, they did some, this guy, what's his name, Spike Lee, when he went with the crew, which include Denzel Washington and the rest of the crew, they actually went to Mecca. And when they went to Mecca, they said, look, you can't come in, you can't come past this marker right here. You got to convert to Islam. So they all converted to Islam to get in to do that movie. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. And then after they left, they converted back to Christianity or whatever because this guy, Denzel Washington, is supposedly a Christian, right? But wait a minute. You put your religion of Christianity to the side to follow Allah. You may not make it on the ships, brother. It says, but the earth helped her. And by the way, Denzel Washington knows about all the Israelite groups. He knows about it. All of them know about Israel. All of them. Eddie Murphy, all of them. It says, but the earth helped her by opening its mouth and swallowing the river that gushed out from the mouth of the dragon. And the dragon was angry at the woman and declared war against the rest of her children. When did that take place? 2,000 years ago. Bring it up to date to the 1600s, and bring it up to date to now, because 2nd Ezra chapter 16, around about the 70th verse, they shall be like madmen, is coming to pass. So this is the same dragon all over again. All who keep the Most High's commandments and maintain their testimony, Yahushua. So the Old Testament only Israelites, they're not of the elect, Because it said, keep the commandments, which represented in the Old Testament. Testimony of Yahweh Shai is the New Testament. Then the dragon took his stand on the shore beside the sea. So, I mean, you can read this in the King James. The writing is a little bit different. And the same goes with Revelation. Matter of fact, let me go to King James. Revelation 20. And I'm going to jump around. Okay, so it says here, right? And I saw an angel come down from heaven having the keys to the bottomless pit and a chain, great chain in his hand. It's a spiritual chain, just like we were chained up, right? It says in chains of darkness. The chains that's on us is these bodies that we're in. And he laid hold of the dragon, which is the Roman Empire, the downfall of the Roman Empire. That old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe, and set a seal on him, that he should not deceive the nation no more. So for that, we know about that period. They call it the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, the medieval time. That was that 1,000-year period. It was actually more than 1,000 years because we started ruling over them in 96 AD. But we really came into power, when Constantine the Great came in. Now they say the Dark Ages is from 500 AD to 1500 AD. So really, that's if you go back 300 years from 500 AD, that's Constantine the Great. So we were really ruling over them for over 1,000 years, approximately 1,300 years. It says that he should deceive the nations no more. And how did he deceive the nations? When he was under the great power that he was under, that he was in, was the Roman Empire. And all of us had to do the beast's bidding till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And that 1,000 years is when the Renaissance period, Christopher Columbus and so forth, Torquemada, the Inquisition, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, the sacking of Granada, which were the Moors, which were Israelites, and after that he must be loose. That little season is 500 years. Now we know what this means. Now, when you jump down to the 7th verse, and when 1,000 years were expired, Satan. So this right here should be the 7th verse should be right around here. So it seems like there's two different events going. That's why Bishop Nathaniel broke it down the wrong way. He said we're going to be in the kingdom for 1,000 years, and then Esau's going to regroup. It says it right here. And then Esau's going to regroup and come and get us, and the Most High got to take him down again. No. This is all one event. These are not two different time periods. And if your eyes were fully open, you can clearly see it. And people used to always get that wrong. And Ariel would say, no, that's not two different time periods. It's talking about the same time. He said, when you go from the 3rd verse, it said that he deceived the nation 1,000 years should be fulfilled, blah, 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 for a little season. Now we go to the 7th verse. And when 1,000 years are expired, 1,000 years of what? Of this dragon being chained up. Not the 1,000 years in verse 4. So I hope you all understand that. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.